Hey everybody, today we're talking to Joe Schmo, my good friend. He's going through the thought process. Is it a good time to rent or to buy? You know, look at him. He's got a briefcase, so professional, such an adult. He's got Kibbles, the cat, everybody's favorite. And Joe is just trying to decide, he's talking to Kibbles.
Kibbles, do you think it's time to call the place our own, or do we gotta keep renting?
It's a common dilemma I talk to many people about, so let's dive into it. Mr. Joe Schmo over there is thinking about it, and he's got to figure out what he wants to factor into those decisions. When he thinks about renting versus buying, here's some things that he has to decide. Renting equals flexibility, right? You can have short-term commitments, you have year-long contracts, 6-month contracts. Buying, yes, it is absolutely a commitment, but sometimes when you're ready to make that commitment, it is absolutely like getting married. Commitment isn't always a bad thing. It can work out really well, okay? So Joe, let's continue on and decide what is best for you. Well, let's think about what are the benefits of buying. Let's talk about this. This little bag of money is called equity. Joe can acquire equity by paying his monthly mortgages, right? So on a monthly mortgage, you're paying a specific amount. Every single month goes towards your equity, what you actually own. That bag of money, yeah, that's going to Mr. Joe Schmo over here, right here. Tax benefits. One of the biggest benefits of home ownership is the tax write-offs. It's going to save you money. Now, you don't just acquire it over a monthly basis, but on an annual basis, you have more you can write off. Freedom. Joe Schmo, my good friend, loves pink. He wants to paint his whole entire house pink. I'm telling him that's a little bit too customized, Joe, but Joe loves it. So what are you going to do? The way that you do that, and when you own a house, you can do whatever you want. Make it pink and polka dot, all I care, because you own the place. And the stability, right? One of the things is you can call a place home. It feels comfortable. It's a place that you know is going to always be there as long as you make those mortgage payments. Next, renting. What's the benefits of renting? Well, Joe is like,
listen, I love my high-rise renting. It's got beautiful, amazing amenities. There's a 5-star gym that's a part of my building. There's no maintenance hassles.
This is something that is going to be taken care of by the landlord. Fewer upfront costs. You don't need to be all cash heavy from the start. You don't need earnest money. You don't need down payment when you're renting. You just have the monthly. Maybe you have 1 month's rent that you have to pay for security deposit, but that's it. And the flexibility, Joe loves flexing. Look, this is Joe. He's flexing right now because he's renting. He loves it. And people that rent love the flexibility of short-term commitments. Now the negatives, let's talk about the negatives. Rent. As you understand, landlords are in it to make money. They want to make more money on an annual basis, so rent goes up every single year, and you don't have any control of that. You can either say thank you very much and pay the man, or you can move on out. And I hate personally moving, and so does Joe Schmo. Look at that sad. He's so sad. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like moving. It's okay, Joe. Don't worry, Joe. Everything's gonna be all right. Now, it also gives you less freedom. You cannot paint your walls pink, Joe. The landlord doesn't let you. It's in the contract. You cannot customize. That's one of the big negatives of renting. It's not your house. And then no equity. Literally, every single month, you pay the rent and it goes into the landlord's pocket. Now, the negatives of home ownership, of course, it's a huge financial commitment. It does require a lot of money up front. There is the risk of depreciation. One of the negatives of home ownership is that you hope that it appreciates. But if you buy incorrectly or there is a down market, you could lose some money on the value of your home. And also, why is Joe sad? Because he hates plunging his toilet. He hates making the fixes. He hates when an appliance goes out and then the full cost is on him. But that is part of home ownership. You have to take care of your investment. Anything that happens, it is on you. That's why you have homeowners insurance, and it costs money. So which way do we go, Joe? Do we rent or do we buy? It's a very personal question. Not always the perfect decision to buy, and it's not always the perfect decision to rent. And there's a lot of factors you have to decide. So Joe, let's keep having that conversation, but that is some good nuggets to think about in that little brain of yours.